My beloved child, stop for a moment. Yes, you. Pause whatever you are doing right now and listen carefully to what I am about to say to you. Do not scroll past this moment. Do not treat this like another ordinary message among thousands of voices speaking to you every day. I need your full attention right now because this moment was not created by accident. It was not a coincidence, not a random encounter, not something that simply appeared before your eyes by chance. I, your God, arranged this moment long before you even opened your eyes today, before your fingers touched the screen, before your thoughts wandered here, before your heart even began to question whether this message was meant for you. I had already written this moment into your story. I have interrupted your day with purpose. I have stopped you in your tracks for a reason that is far greater than you can see right now. So do not rush away. Do not dismiss what is happening here. I am calling you to be still and to listen, because what I am about to reveal to you carries an urgency that your heart must not ignore. My child, many things in your life have felt random, confusing, or out of place. You have looked at certain moments and wondered if they were meaningless accidents. But hear me clearly now. When it comes to this moment, there is nothing accidental about it. Heaven itself arranged this encounter. I guided your steps here. I moved unseen circumstances so that this message would appear before you at the precise second your spirit was ready to receive it. You may think you found this message, but the truth is that I led you here. I brought you here because there are things you need to hear right now that cannot wait until tomorrow, next week, or some distant season. Your soul has been searching for answers, even when your mind tried to ignore the questions. You have been carrying silent prayers within you, questions you did not always know how to express with words. And I heard every one of them. Every whisper of your heart reached me. Every tear you thought no one noticed was seen by me. Every moment you felt invisible in this world, I was still watching over you, guiding your steps toward this very moment where my voice would reach you again. So I ask you again, my beloved child, do not ignore this message. Do not treat it lightly. Do not allow distraction to steal your focus. There are many voices competing for your attention in this world, many distractions that try to pull your heart away from hearing me clearly. But right now, I am speaking directly to you. I am calling you to quiet your thoughts and listen with your spirit, because something important is being revealed to you in this moment. If you feel a stirring inside your chest right now, if you feel a strange sense of curiosity, urgency, or even a quiet peace settling over your thoughts, that is not your imagination. That is my presence drawing near to you. That is my spirit gently reminding you that you are not alone, and that I still have plans for your life that have not yet unfolded. My child, I know what you have been thinking lately. I know the quiet worries that have been running through your mind. You have looked at your life and felt as though you arrived too late. Too late to fulfill your dreams. Too late to fix certain mistakes. Too late to reach the place you thought you should have reached by now. You have watched others move ahead while you felt stuck, delayed, or forgotten. At times you wondered if you somehow missed the opportunity I had planned for you. Maybe you believed the door had already closed. Maybe you feared that the moment meant for you had already passed, and that you were simply walking through the remains of something that could have been. But listen carefully to what I am telling you now, because this truth will change the way you see your life. You are not too late. You have never been too late. What you see as delay, I have used as protection. What you believed was a missed opportunity was actually my hand preserving something for you that no one else could touch. While you thought you were falling behind, I was guarding something that belonged only to you. I kept it hidden. I kept it safe. I kept it protected from the wrong people, the wrong timing, and the wrong circumstances. There are blessings, opportunities, and moments of transformation that were set aside specifically for your life, and no one else could take them from you. Even when you felt like everything was slipping away, what I prepared for you remained untouched. You must understand this, my beloved child. What is truly meant for you cannot be stolen by another person. It cannot be erased by your past mistakes. It cannot be destroyed by delays, disappointments, or seasons of confusion. What I preserve, no enemy can take away. What I guard, no human hand can remove. Even when the world seemed to move forward without you, the path I prepared for you was still waiting. The door I created for you was still standing. The blessing I prepared was still being protected by my hand until the right moment arrived. And that moment, my child, is drawing closer than you realize. Say amen. Your miracles never stop if you've seen His power firsthand. But there is something else you must know. The reason this message appeared before you right now is not only because heaven arranged this moment. It is also because there has been a battle taking place around your life that you cannot fully see with your physical eyes. There are forces that hoped you would never reach this moment. The enemy, who has been watching your life carefully, did not want you to hear what you are hearing right now. There were plans formed in darkness that depended on you remaining discouraged, confused, and distracted. The enemy hoped you would give up long before this moment arrived. He hoped you would believe the lie that you were forgotten, that you were too late, that your life no longer held purpose. But he was wrong. The enemy is furious right now because you are still here. He is furious because despite the confusion, despite the pain, despite the delays and disappointments, you did not disappear. You did not completely lose your faith. Even in your weakest moments, something inside you kept searching for truth. Something inside you kept hoping that I had not abandoned you. And because of that small flame of faith that continued burning within you, you have now arrived at a moment the enemy hoped you would never reach. You found this message before the lies could silence you completely. You discovered this moment before the darkness could convince you to give up entirely. And now that you are hearing my voice again, the enemy knows something is changing. The plans that were designed to keep you trapped in confusion are being exposed. The lies that tried to convince you that your life had no direction are beginning to crumble. The path forward that was hidden from your sight is slowly beginning to appear. But this is why I must warn you about something important right now. My child, do not leave this moment too quickly. Do not rush away from what I am revealing to you. Many people miss their confirmations because they grow impatient before the message is complete. They listen to the beginning but walk away before the truth that would have changed everything is fully spoken. I do not want that to happen to you. There are things I still need to reveal to you that will help you understand what has been happening in your life and what is about to happen next. If you walk away too soon, you may miss the very confirmation your heart hath been praying for. If you allow distraction to pull you away, you might overlook the message that was meant to strengthen you for the season ahead. That is why I ask you now to remain here, to listen carefully, and to open your heart to what I am saying. Do not skip ahead. Do not dismiss these words. Stay with me until the end of what I am about to reveal. Because what comes next, my beloved child, will begin to explain why your journey has unfolded the way it has and why the enemy already senses that something powerful is about to happen in your life. My beloved child, Listen closely now, because what I am about to reveal will help you understand why you are here at this exact moment. You may think you simply came across these words by chance, that perhaps you were scrolling, searching, or passing time when your eyes landed here. But I want you to slow your thoughts and allow this truth to settle deeply into your heart. This moment was not born from randomness. It was not created by coincidence or by the simple movement of your hand across a screen. Long before this day arrived, long before you were even aware of the many roads your life would travel, this encounter was already written into the story of your life. Before you took your first breath on this earth, before your name was spoken by your parents, before the world even recognized your existence, I knew the moment when you would hear these words. I saw the exact second when your heart would be searching for answers again, when your spirit would be tired of confusion, when the quiet questions within you would become too heavy to ignore. And because I knew that moment was coming, I prepared this encounter for you far in advance. My child, I have always known the journey you would walk. I saw the paths you would take, the mistakes you would make, the victories you would celebrate, and the tears you would shed in silence when no one else was watching. I saw the days when you would feel strong and hopeful, and I also saw the nights when you would feel lost, questioning whether your life still had direction or meaning. Nothing about your story has ever been hidden from me. Every chapter of your life has unfolded before my eyes, and even when you could not see my hand guiding you, I was still present in every step you took. When you stumbled, I was there. When you felt abandoned, I was still standing beside you. When you believed no one understood your pain, I was the one who heard every cry of your heart. Please support our channel. Our work is dedicated to bringing happiness into your life and helping you grow in devotion to God. If you would like to support our efforts, you can donate through Super Thanks. There were moments when you spoke to me directly in prayer. You remember some of those moments clearly, the times when your words came pouring out with emotion, when you asked me to show you the way forward or to bring peace into situations that felt impossible to fix. But there were also many prayers you did not speak aloud. There were silent prayers hidden within your thoughts, whispered through your sighs, carried in the tears that rolled down your face when you felt too exhausted to form sentences. Those silent prayers did not disappear into emptiness. I heard them. Every single one of them reached me. The quiet cry of your spirit has never been ignored. When your heart asked questions that your lips could not express, I still understood. When you wondered if anyone was paying attention to your struggle, I was already listening. My beloved child, there were nights when you lay awake, staring into darkness, trying to understand why certain things happened the way they did. You wondered why doors closed that you desperately wanted to walk through. You wondered why people you trusted turned away, or why opportunities seemed to slip through your hands just when you believed your life was about to change. In those moments, confusion wrapped around your thoughts like a heavy fog. You asked me questions that did not receive immediate answers, and sometimes that silence made you wonder if I was still there. But what you did not see was that even during those silent seasons, heaven was still moving on your behalf. There is a timing that governs the unfolding of your life, a timing that exists far beyond what human understanding can measure. Many times you wanted answers immediately. You wanted clarity right away. You wanted to see the entire path ahead of you so that you could move forward without fear or uncertainty. But there were reasons certain answers had to wait. There were lessons your heart needed to experience before you could fully understand what I was preparing for you. There were moments when I allowed silence not because I had turned away from you, but because your spirit was still growing, still learning, still becoming ready to receive the truth that would eventually arrive. My child, heaven waited patiently for the moment when your heart would be ready to hear what I am now revealing. Readiness does not always come from comfort. Often it comes through struggle, through seasons that stretch your faith and force your spirit to search deeper than it ever has before. The hardships you faced were not meaningless suffering. They were shaping you, strengthening you, teaching you things that could not be learned in times of ease. Through those experiences, your spirit was being prepared for a moment like this, when you would finally pause long enough to listen carefully again. You see, there were earlier times when you might have encountered words like these and simply passed them by without truly hearing them. Your mind might have been too distracted, your heart too guarded, or your life too busy with other concerns. But now something inside you has changed. The questions you carry have become deeper. The desire for clarity has grown stronger. The noise of the world has become exhausting, and your spirit has begun searching again for something real, something true, something that can bring peace to the restless thoughts within you. That is why this moment has arrived now, and not earlier. Heaven waited for the exact point when your heart would be open enough to recognize that my voice is still speaking. My beloved child, I want you to understand that your arrival here is not simply the result of your own choices or curiosity. I orchestrated this moment with care and intention. Many small circumstances, invisible to your awareness, were gently moved so that your path would cross with these words at the exact time when you needed them most. What feels ordinary to you is often part of a much larger design that you cannot yet see. The timing of this message, the moment you discovered it, even the state of mind you are in right now, all of it hath been woven together with purpose. There have been many times in your life when you felt unseen. Perhaps people around you did not recognize the battles you were fighting inside. Perhaps you carried burdens quietly, smiling on the outside, while your heart struggled beneath the surface. The world may have overlooked your pain, but I never did. I saw the effort you made to keep moving forward when everything inside you felt tired. I saw the courage it took for you to continue believing that something better might still be ahead. Even when your faith felt small, even when doubt crept into your thoughts, you did not completely close the door on hope. And that small flame of hope was enough for me to keep guiding you toward moments like this. My child, I have been watching over you all along. When danger approached that you could not see, I protected you. When the wrong path began to open before you, I quietly redirected your steps even if it felt like frustration at the time. When people entered your life with intentions that were not meant for your good, I placed barriers you did not fully understand. Many of the delays and disappointments that caused you pain were actually my protection working in ways that were hidden from your sight. You may look back now and remember certain events that once felt confusing or unfair. But with time, you will begin to see that those moments were part of a greater design that was shaping your future. The story of your life is not a series of random chapters. It is a carefully guided journey that has been unfolding under my watchful care since the very beginning. So now, as you sit here reading these words, allow yourself to recognize something important. I have always been aware of you. I have always known your struggles, your dreams, your fears, and your quiet hopes for the future. Nothing you have experienced has been invisible to me. The pain you carried in silence did not go unnoticed. The prayers you thought were unanswered were never forgotten. The questions you asked in the darkness were heard even when the answers seemed delayed. Amen. I'm walking by faith if you're stepping into the unknown with trust. This moment is proof that I am still working within your story. It is a reminder that your life has never been abandoned to chance or left to wander without direction. I am still guiding you, still speaking to you, still opening moments where your heart can hear my voice again. And now that you are here, my beloved child, listening and reflecting on these words, you are beginning to realize something that perhaps you did not fully understand before. You have been seen all along, and the journey that brought you here has been guided by my hand from the very beginning. My beloved child, I know the thoughts that have passed quietly through your mind during the long seasons of waiting. I know how many times you looked at your life and felt as though you were standing still while everyone around you seemed to move forward. You watched others reach milestones you hoped to reach. You saw people around you stepping into opportunities, relationships, and successes that you once believed would arrive in your own life sooner. And in the quiet corners of your heart, a question began to grow. Why am I still here? Why does it feel like my life is delayed while everyone else is advancing? My child, I heard those questions. I saw the moments when discouragement tried to whisper that you were somehow falling behind. I watched as you compared your journey to the journeys of others, wondering whether you had missed something important along the way. There were days when it seemed as if time itself was moving forward, while you remained trapped in the same circumstances, repeating the same struggles, waiting for something to change. At times you even wondered if you had somehow failed, if perhaps you had made choices that permanently altered your future and left you standing outside the life you once imagined for yourself. But listen carefully now, because the truth I am about to speak will begin to reshape the way you understand those seasons of delay. You were never falling behind. What you interpreted as delay was actually my protection surrounding you. What you believed was stagnation was often preparation taking place beneath the surface where you could not yet see it. The timing of your life has never been governed by comparison with others. Each person walks a different path, and the timing of your journey has always been designed according to a purpose that is uniquely yours. You saw others moving quickly into certain opportunities and believed that you should have been there as well. But what you did not see was the danger that existed behind some of those doors. There were situations that appeared attractive on the surface but carried consequences that would have caused deep pain if you had entered them at the wrong time. There were relationships that seemed promising but would have slowly drained the strength from your spirit. There were opportunities that looked like success but would have placed you in environments that could have pulled you far away from the destiny I designed for you. When I closed certain doors in your life, you interpreted it as rejection. You felt as if something had been taken away from you. In some moments you even wondered if I had turned against your desires. But what you did not see was the protection hidden within those closed doors. There were paths that would have led you into confusion, compromise, and heartbreak if you had continued walking through them. And because I saw the future clearly, I chose to intervene even when it caused temporary disappointment in your heart. My child, I never close a door without purpose. I never allow a delay without reason. When I remove something from your path, it is not to punish you or to diminish your hopes. It is because I see outcomes that you cannot yet see. I see the consequences that would have unfolded if certain plans had succeeded exactly the way you wanted them to. And in my love for you, I chose to block those paths even when you could not understand why. There were times when you stood before opportunities that seemed perfect. You prayed for them, hoped for them, and believed they would change everything for you. But when those opportunities suddenly disappeared, you felt confusion and disappointment. Some of those moments left wounds in your heart because you believed something important had been lost forever. Yet what you could not see was that many of those closed doors were preventing situations that would have eventually harmed you far more than the temporary disappointment you experienced. You may remember moments when certain people left your life unexpectedly. Perhaps friendships faded, relationships ended, or individuals you trusted walked away from your journey. In those moments, you may have felt abandoned or rejected. You may have wondered what you did wrong or why those connections could not continue. But my beloved child, not everyone who enters your life is meant to remain in your future. Some people are present for a season, and when that season ends, their departure becomes part of the protection I place around your destiny. There were individuals whose influence would have slowly redirected your life away from the path I prepared for you. Some carried attitudes, habits, or intentions that would have weakened your faith and clouded your judgment. Others might have drawn you into situations where your purpose would have been overshadowed by distractions and unnecessary struggles. Because I saw the direction those relationships could have taken, I gently removed them from your life even when it caused temporary loneliness or confusion. My child, I know that loneliness can feel heavy. There were times when you wished certain people had remained beside you, when you hoped relationships could have been restored or repaired. But many times the removal of those connections was not a loss, it was a rescue. I was protecting the future I had prepared for you from influences that could have slowly eroded the strength of your spirit. You must also understand something else about those seasons when you felt stuck. During those periods when it seemed like nothing was changing, important work was still taking place within you. Growth does not always happen in visible ways. Many of the most significant transformations occur quietly inside the heart and mind long before they become visible in the outer circumstances of life. While you were waiting for external breakthroughs, I was strengthening your inner foundation. There were lessons you needed to learn, not as punishment, but as preparation. Your patience was being developed. Your discernment was growing sharper. Your ability to recognize truth was becoming clearer. If certain blessings had arrived too early, before those inner qualities were developed, you might not have been able to sustain them. The weight of certain opportunities requires a level of maturity that can only be formed through experience. My beloved child, the delay you experienced was not a sign that your life had been forgotten. It was evidence that I was still carefully shaping the path ahead of you. When a building is meant to stand tall and strong, the foundation must first be prepared with patience and care. The process may appear slow to those watching from the outside, but the strength of the structure depends on the stability of what is built beneath the surface. In the same way, your life required a deeper foundation before certain doors could open safely. If the blessings you desired had arrived earlier, they might have collapsed under pressures that your heart was not yet ready to handle. I was not withholding good things from you. I was ensuring that when those things finally arrived, they would remain secure in your life rather than slipping away. There were also moments when I allowed you to face challenges that seemed overwhelming. These experiences were not meant to break you. They were meant to refine you. Just as fire purifies gold by removing the impurities within it, the difficulties you faced were helping to remove weaknesses that could have limited your future. Through those challenges, your strength was increasing, your resilience was growing, and your faith was learning how to stand even when circumstances did not immediately improve. My child, when you look back at your journey with clearer eyes, you will begin to see that the seasons you once called failure were actually moments of preparation. Every delay carried a purpose. Every closed door protected you from something you could not yet see. Every relationship that ended created space for healthier connections that will align with your future. Nothing that happened during those waiting seasons was meaningless. Even now, the preparation is still unfolding. The path ahead of you has not disappeared. The purpose placed within your life has not been canceled. What you once believed was lost is still being carefully shaped by my hands. The delays did not erase your destiny, they preserved it. So do not allow the past to convince you that you are behind or that your story has fallen out of alignment with the life you were meant to live. The journey you have walked hath been guided with intention. The pauses and detours were not signs of abandonment. They were the quiet work of protection and preparation unfolding in ways that only I could see fully. And as you continue forward, my beloved child, you will begin to understand that the doors that remained closed were never meant for your destruction. They were part of the protection that preserved the greater purpose waiting ahead of you. My beloved child, I want you to listen carefully now, because there is something deeper happening around your life that you may not have fully understood until this moment. Many of the struggles you faced were not only natural circumstances. They were not simply unfortunate events or random difficulties that appeared without meaning. There has been a battle taking place around your life that your physical eyes could not see. A spiritual conflict has been unfolding quietly in the unseen realm, surrounding your journey, watching your progress, and attempting to interfere with the path that I prepared for you long ago. You must understand this truth, my child. When a life carries purpose, opposition often rises against it. When a soul is destined to walk in light, darkness will attempt to cloud the path ahead. The struggles you encountered were not signs that you were weak or abandoned. In many cases, they were signs that your life carries significance. The enemy does not waste energy attacking a life that poses no threat to his plans. The reason you experience certain storms, certain delays, and certain waves of confusion is because your journey holds a future that the enemy fears. From the moment your life began, there were forces that hoped to keep you distracted from your purpose. They hoped to lead you away from the path I created for you. They attempted to surround your mind with doubts so that you would question your value, question your direction, and eventually question whether your life held any meaningful purpose at all. Many of those thoughts did not begin as loud voices. They often arrived quietly, disguised as simple worries or passing concerns. Yet over time, those small whispers tried to grow into larger fears. You remember the moments when discouragement suddenly appeared without warning. There were days when you woke up feeling uncertain about the future, wondering whether your efforts would ever lead anywhere meaningful. Sometimes those feelings seemed to come from nowhere. One moment you were hopeful, and the next moment your thoughts were filled with doubt. The enemy often works in subtle ways like this, planting seeds of confusion in the mind so that the heart begins to feel weak and uncertain. There were also voices around you that unknowingly carried negativity into your life. Some people spoke words that diminished your confidence. Others projected their own fears and limitations onto your dreams. They told you what was impossible, what could never work, or why your hopes were unrealistic. Sometimes those words came from individuals who did not intend to harm you, but the effect was still heavy on your spirit. Slowly, those voices tried to convince you that you should lower your expectations for your life. Fear also tried to surround you during certain seasons. The enemy understands that fear can freeze a person in place. When fear grows strong enough, it convinces a person not to take steps forward, not to try again, and not to believe that change is possible. Fear whispers that failure is inevitable, that risks are too dangerous, and that remaining where you are is safer than moving towards something unknown. In this way, fear becomes a cage that prevents people from walking toward the destiny waiting for them. Confusion was another tool that appeared in your journey. There were moments when you felt pulled in different directions, unsure which choice was right. Opportunities appeared that looked promising but did not feel entirely clear. Advice came from different voices, each pointing you toward a different path. In those seasons it felt difficult to hear my guidance clearly, and the uncertainty made you hesitate. Confusion often works alongside fear, creating a fog around a person's mind so that they struggle to move forward confidently. But my beloved child, even though these attacks surrounded your journey, they never had the final authority over your life. Every time the enemy attempted to trap you in discouragement, I was still present, strengthening you in ways you could not always see. Every time fear tried to convince you to give up, I quietly reminded your heart that hope was still alive. Every time confusion clouded your thoughts, I continued guiding your steps so that you would not wander too far from the path that leads to your purpose. You may not realize how many traps you have already escaped. There were situations where one small decision could have led you into much deeper trouble, yet something inside you hesitated. Perhaps you changed your mind at the last moment. Perhaps circumstances unexpectedly shifted and prevented you from continuing in a certain direction. At the time, those moments may have seemed frustrating or inconvenient, but many of those sudden changes were actually my protection intervening in your life. There were also moments when discouragement almost convinced you to stop trying. You came close to giving up on certain dreams or walking away from paths that once mattered deeply to you. Yet something inside your spirit refused to disappear completely. Even when your strength felt small, you still continued moving forward one step at a time. That quiet perseverance was not only your effort, it was my presence sustaining you through those moments. The enemy hoped that the weight of discouragement would eventually break your spirit. He believed that the repeated delays and disappointments would convince you that continuing forward was pointless. He tried to build a maze of confusion around your life so that you would lose sight of the direction I prepared for you. But despite all those attempts, you are still here. Your faith may have felt fragile at times, but it was never completely destroyed. My child, the enemy is frustrated because you survived every trap that was placed in your path. The lies that were meant to silence your hope did not fully succeed. The fears that attempted to imprison your heart did not completely stop you from moving forward. The discouragement that tried to convince you to abandon your journey did not erase the purpose that still lives inside you. Your survival itself is proof that I have been protecting you all along. There were moments when you believed you were walking alone through your struggles. Yet even in those lonely seasons, my presence never left you. I surrounded you with protection that prevented certain dangers from reaching you. I guided your decisions even when you did not recognize my voice clearly. I strengthened your spirit in ways that allowed you to continue standing when circumstances suggested that you should collapse. My beloved child, the battles you faced were not signs that your life was cursed or forgotten. They were evidence that your life carries value and meaning that extends beyond what you can currently see. When darkness attempts to stop someone repeatedly, it is often because light is meant to shine through that person in ways that will eventually change more lives than they realize. Comment Amen. You are my Redeemer if Jesus gave you new life, and share this video. My beloved child, stop for a moment. Yes, you. Pause whatever you are doing and listen carefully to my voice. Do not rush past this moment as if it were ordinary. This is not an accident. This is not just another message passing before your eyes. I am calling you directly right now. I need your full attention because something important is unfolding in the unseen realm, and it concerns you personally. Heaven itself is watching this very moment. The angels who serve me are aware of what is happening right now in your life. And I am speaking because the time has come for you to hear what has been prepared for you. You may have been moving through your day without realizing that this moment was coming. Perhaps you were thinking about many different things, carrying the weight of responsibilities, worries, and plans for the future. Your mind may have been busy, your heart may have been tired, and your attention may have been scattered. But suddenly you were drawn here, as if something quietly interrupted the normal flow of your day. That interruption was not random. That was my hand guiding you to this exact moment. I needed to stop you long enough so that you could hear me clearly. Listen closely, my child. Something unusual is happening in the spiritual realm around you. There are moments when heaven moves quietly, and there are moments when heaven moves with urgency. This is one of those moments. What you are experiencing right now is a divine interruption, a moment where I step into your routine and speak directly into your life. I do not do this without reason. When I call someone to pause and listen, it is because their journey has reached a point where understanding is needed. You may wonder why I chose to speak to you like this today. The answer is simple and powerful. You were chosen. Out of millions of people moving through this world, I chose you to hear this message at this exact time. This is not because you are perfect or because you have never struggled. It is because I know your heart. I know your story. I know the questions you have carried inside you, the hopes you have hidden deep within your soul, and the prayers you have spoken when no one else was listening. I have seen everything about your journey, and that is why this message is meant for you. My beloved child, understand this truth clearly. You are not lost among the crowd of humanity. You are not just another person moving through life without purpose. I formed you with intention. I knew you before you ever took your first breath. I saw the days of your life before they even began. And because I know you completely, I know exactly when your heart is ready to hear my voice more clearly. Out of millions of people who could be hearing words at this moment, I directed this message toward you. That is not a small thing. That is not a coincidence. That is a sign that your life matters more than you realize. I have placed purpose within you, and that purpose is still alive even if you sometimes doubt it. The struggles you have faced did not erase it. The mistakes you think about did not destroy it. Your destiny has not been canceled. It is still unfolding, and that is why I am speaking to you now. While you have been living your life day by day, something has already been set in motion in the unseen realm. My angels are already moving in your life right now. Even though you cannot see them with your physical eyes, they are present and active around you. They are guiding events, shifting circumstances, and arranging moments that will soon become clear to you. Many times in your life they have protected you from things you never knew about. They have stood beside you during difficult moments when your strength felt weak. And even now they continue to work on your behalf. There is movement happening around you that you cannot yet fully understand. Certain doors are being positioned to open. Certain obstacles are being removed from your path. Certain encounters with people and opportunities are being prepared. You may not see the full picture yet, but heaven does. My angels move quietly and faithfully according to my command, and they are already involved in the story of your life in ways that will soon begin to reveal themselves. My child, I want you to imagine something for a moment. Think about how often people move through life unaware that something important is about to happen. They continue with their routines, their habits, and their distractions, never realizing that a turning point is right in front of them. When they finally recognize it, the moment has already passed. I do not want that to happen to you. That is why I interrupted your day. That is why I am speaking with urgency right now. Type Amen. I believe in miracles if you know God is still moving mountains in your life. Do not ignore this message. Do not treat these words lightly. When heaven speaks, it is because something meaningful is taking place. Your life is approaching a moment of change, a moment that could surprise even those closest to you. Something big is about to happen in your life, and the preparation for it has already begun. But for you to step fully into what is coming, your heart must be ready. I know that part of you may feel curious right now. You may be wondering what exactly is about to happen, why I chose you, and what this moment truly means. That curiosity is natural. It means your spirit is awakening to the awareness that this is not just an ordinary message. Something deeper is being revealed. At the same time, I must speak a warning to you with love and honesty. If you allow distraction to take your attention away from this moment, you may miss something important. Opportunities from heaven are often quiet at first. They appear as moments of understanding, shifts in perspective, or doors opening where none existed before. But those opportunities require awareness. They require a heart that is listening. My beloved child, you have asked me for signs before. There were moments when you prayed for guidance. You wondered if I was hearing you, if I was near, if your life had a direction beyond what you could see. Those prayers were never ignored. They remained before me, waiting for the moment when your heart would be ready to receive the answer. This moment is part of that answer. I am speaking to you because the next season of your life is closer than you think. The events that are about to unfold may surprise you, and they may even surprise your family and the people around you. But what is coming will not be random. It will be the result of preparation that has already been happening in ways you could not see. So stay here with me for these moments. Let your heart grow still and open. Do not rush away from what heaven is revealing. Something important has begun to move in your life, and the understanding of it starts right here, in this moment when I called you to stop, listen, and realize that you were chosen, watched over, and guided more closely than you ever imagined. My beloved child, listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you carries weight far greater than you realize. The moment you are in right now is not ordinary. It may look simple from the outside. You may think you simply paused for a few minutes or came across these words by chance. But I want you to understand something very clearly. Heaven itself has stopped your day for this moment. I did not interrupt your path without reason. I did not draw your attention here randomly. This moment was prepared long before you arrived here. I saw you before this day began. I knew where you would be, what thoughts would pass through your mind, and what burdens you would carry in your heart. While you were moving through your routine, thinking this day would unfold like any other, I was already arranging this moment. You may have been focused on your plans, your responsibilities, or your worries about tomorrow. Yet quietly, without you realizing it, I guided your steps to this exact point where you would hear my voice. Nothing about this moment is random, my child. Nothing about your life has ever been random in my eyes. Long before today, I knew there would come a time when your heart would need clarity, when your spirit would need to hear something that would awaken you again. And so heaven prepared this encounter with great care. It was not rushed. It was not an afterthought. It was part of a plan that has been unfolding around you quietly for a long time. Think about it for a moment. Out of all the people in the world, out of all the places your attention could have gone today, you are here hearing these words. That is not coincidence. When heaven arranges a moment, it moves in ways that may look ordinary on the surface but carry deep purpose underneath. I guided your attention. I allowed your heart to pause just long enough so that this message could reach you. Please support our channel. Our work is dedicated to bringing happiness into your life and encouraging devotion to God. If you would like to support us, you can donate through Super Thanks. You may feel a sense of curiosity rising inside you right now. You may be wondering why I chose to speak to you like this. You may even feel a slight sense of surprise, as if something about this moment feels different from the rest of your day. That feeling is not imagination. It is your spirit beginning to recognize that heaven has stepped into your ordinary routine and created a moment of divine attention. My beloved child, there are times when I allow life to move forward quietly, allowing people to walk their paths and learn through their experiences. But there are also moments when I step in with urgency because something important must be heard. This is one of those moments for you. I interrupted your day because your heart is standing at a place where awareness is needed. You have asked me for signs before. You remember those moments. Perhaps you spoke to me during a quiet prayer, asking me to guide you or show you if you were moving in the right direction. Perhaps you wondered if I was still close to you, if I still saw your struggles, if I still had a plan for your life. Maybe those questions came during a difficult season when your heart felt tired and your faith felt fragile. You may have looked up and asked me silently, hoping for some kind of answer. My child, this moment is that answer. I heard every one of those prayers. Not one word you spoke was ignored. Not one tear you shed went unnoticed. Even when you believed heaven was silent, your voice had already reached me. But answers sometimes come at the moment when your spirit is ready to recognize them. That is why this moment was prepared so carefully. This message is not simply a collection of words. It is a sign that I have not forgotten you. It is a sign that your life is still held within my care. It is a sign that something in your journey is beginning to shift, and I want you to be aware of it before it unfolds. While you have been living your life day by day, heaven has been moving quietly around you. My angels have not been idle. They have been sent with purpose concerning your life. Many times they have protected you without you realizing it. Many times they have guided circumstances so that certain paths closed while others opened. Even when you felt uncertain about your direction, heaven was still active around you. And even now, my angels have been dispatched with a message meant for you. Their presence around you is not a symbol or a story. It is a reality in the unseen world. They move where you cannot see, carrying out my will and guarding the paths of those who belong to me. In this moment, they stand as witnesses to what is unfolding in your life. My beloved child, heaven does not interrupt someone's day without purpose. When I call someone to stop and listen, it is because their life has reached a point where understanding is needed. Something is being prepared ahead of you, something that will require faith, awareness, and trust in my guidance. If I allowed you to continue moving through your day without hearing this message, you might overlook the signs that will soon appear. You might dismiss the opportunities that begin to open in front of you. You might mistake divine movement for coincidence. That is why I am speaking to you now. I want your eyes to be open and your spirit to be aware. There is a reason your heart feels drawn to these words. There is a reason you paused instead of moving on quickly. Something within your spirit recognizes that this moment carries meaning. That recognition is the beginning of spiritual awareness. I want you to understand something deeply, my child. When heaven prepares a moment like this, it is not simply to inform you of something. It is to awaken you. It is to remind you that your life is connected to something far greater than the ordinary routines of the world. Your story matters. Your journey matters. And the direction of your life is not left to chance. You may have thought that you were simply living through difficult seasons, trying to survive challenges and figure out your future on your own. But the truth is that you have never been alone in this journey. I have been watching. I have been guiding. I have been preparing moments like this one so that when the time came, you would hear my voice clearly again. This moment may surprise you. It may even bring a sense of shock to your heart as you begin to realize that heaven has been paying closer attention to your life than you ever imagined. But do not let that shock create fear. Let it awaken wonder. Let it awaken curiosity about what I am doing in your life right now. Because this is only the beginning of understanding what heaven hath been preparing for you. Stay here with me for a little longer. Let your thoughts slow down and allow your spirit to listen carefully. The moment heaven stopped your day was not meant to confuse you. It was meant to open your eyes to something that has been quietly unfolding around you for a long time. And as you continue listening, you will begin to see that this moment was not only planned, it was necessary for the next step in your journey. My beloved child, come closer in your heart and listen to me carefully, because I want to speak to the parts of your life that no one else has fully seen. Many people look at you and only see the surface of your life. They see your smile, your efforts, the way you keep moving forward through your days. They do not see the deeper parts of your journey. They do not see the quiet battles you have fought when no one else was watching. But I see them all. I have seen every hidden struggle you have carried, every silent moment when your heart felt heavy, and every prayer that rose from your spirit even when your lips spoke no words. There were nights when sleep refused to come to you. Your body was tired from the day, but your mind would not rest. Thoughts moved through your head again and again. Questions you could not answer, worries you did not know how to release. You lay there in the quiet darkness, sometimes staring into the ceiling, sometimes turning from one side to the other, hoping your mind would finally grow still. Those nights felt lonely to you. It felt as though the whole world was resting while your heart continued to wrestle with its burdens. But my child, you were not alone in those moments. I was there beside you, aware of every thought and every feeling that passed through your heart. I heard the quiet sighs you released when your strength felt low. I felt the heaviness inside you when you wondered how things would turn out. Even when you did not speak my name out loud, I knew the questions forming inside your mind. Nothing about those sleepless nights escaped my attention. While you lay awake wondering if anyone understood what you were feeling, I was already there, listening to every unspoken word rising from your soul. Comment amen. You reign in my heart. Jesus, if he's truly Lord of your life. And then there were the tears you tried so hard to hide. You did not always let people see them. Sometimes you stepped away so that no one would notice the pain in your eyes. Sometimes you wiped them away quickly, hoping to regain your strength before anyone asked what was wrong. There were moments when you held everything inside, believing it was easier to appear strong than to explain the weight you were carrying. But my child, every tear that fell from your eyes was seen by me. Every drop of sorrow that touched your heart reached my presence. When those tears fell, they were not wasted. I saw them. I understood them. I felt the pain behind them. Your sorrow was never invisible to me. Even when no one else noticed your struggle, heaven was fully aware of it. I know the moments when disappointment touched your life. I know the times when someone's words hurt you more deeply than they realized. I know the situations where you gave your best but still felt overlooked or misunderstood. All of those experiences were seen by me. I also saw the fears you kept hidden within your heart. You did not always share them with others. Some fears were too personal, too complicated to explain. You worried about the future. You wondered if you were making the right decisions. Sometimes you questioned whether you were strong enough to face what was ahead. Those fears stayed quietly inside you, appearing in your thoughts when everything around you became still. But my beloved child, I knew every one of them. You never needed to explain your fears to me for me to understand them. Before a single thought formed in your mind, I already knew what you were feeling. I saw the moments when uncertainty tried to make your heart feel small. I saw the times when doubt whispered that perhaps things would never change. But even in those moments, I remained close to you, holding your heart with patience and care. There were also the prayers you spoke that seemed to float into silence. You prayed with sincerity, asking for answers, asking for guidance, asking for relief from the struggles you were facing. Sometimes you waited for something to change, expecting a response that would come quickly. Yet days passed, and you wondered if your words had reached heaven at all. That silence made your heart question whether your prayers mattered. My child, let me tell you the truth that your heart needs to hear. Every prayer you spoke reached me. Not one was lost. Not one was ignored. Even the prayers you whispered in weakness, when your faith felt small and uncertain, were heard by me. I listened to every word. I felt the sincerity behind your voice. And even when the answer did not appear immediately, I was already working in ways that you could not yet see. Your pain was never ignored. Your struggles were never meaningless. Every moment of your journey has mattered deeply to me. When you felt alone in your battle, I was still walking beside you. When you wondered if your life had direction, I was still guiding your steps quietly. The world may have overlooked some of the things you went through, but heaven did not overlook them. My beloved child, your journey has value. Every challenge you endured helped shape the person you are becoming. The nights when your heart wrestled with worry strengthened your patience. The tears you shed deepened your compassion. The fears you faced quietly taught you resilience. Even the unanswered prayers served a purpose that you could not fully see at the time. Sometimes my answers come in ways that require time and growth. Sometimes the heart must develop strength before it can receive what it has asked for. I know that waiting was not easy for you. I know there were moments when you wished things would change immediately. But during that waiting, something important was happening within you. Your spirit was learning endurance. Your faith was being refined, becoming stronger and deeper than before. When I look at your life, I do not only see the struggles you face. I see the courage you showed while facing them. I see how you kept moving forward even when your strength felt fragile. I see how you continued hoping, even when hope felt difficult to hold on to. Those quiet acts of perseverance are precious to me. Your story matters, my child. Every chapter of it holds meaning, even the parts that once felt painful or confusing. The sleepless nights, the silent tears, the hidden fears, and the unanswered prayers all became part of a journey that is shaping your heart and preparing you for what lies ahead. I want you to feel the comfort of knowing that you have never been forgotten. Your struggles were never invisible. Your prayers were never ignored. Every moment of your life has been seen, known, and held within my care. And as you listen to my voice now, I want you to understand that your journey continues with purpose, guided by a love that has never left your side. My beloved child, there is something about your life that you have only seen from the surface. You have seen the events that happened around you, the struggles that appeared in front of you, and the challenges that seemed to rise without warning. From your point of view, it looked like life was simply difficult at times, like circumstances kept testing your strength again and again. But there is another side to your story that you could not see. There has been a battle surrounding your life, a battle that existed in the unseen realm while you were walking through your days. What you experienced as ordinary struggles were often part of a deeper spiritual conflict. You did not wake up each morning thinking you were stepping into a battlefield, yet that is exactly what was happening. Your life carries purpose, and purpose attracts resistance. The enemy saw the light that I placed within your spirit long before you fully understood it yourself. He saw the faith growing quietly inside your heart, the hope that refused to disappear even when circumstances tried to crush it. Because of that, he tried to interfere with the path I prepared for you. There were moments when you suddenly felt doubt rising in your mind. Thoughts appeared that made you question your worth, your direction, or even your faith. You may have believed those thoughts were simply your own worries, but many of them were whispers meant to weaken your confidence. The enemy knows that faith is powerful. When someone trusts in me, their life becomes difficult to control. So he attempted to shake your faith, hoping that if doubt grew strong enough, you would begin to believe that I had forgotten you. There were also times when joy seemed to slip away from you. Situations happened that drained your energy and dimmed the happiness you once felt. The enemy often works this way. He tries to steal joy slowly, little by little, until a person begins to feel empty or discouraged. When joy fades, hope becomes harder to hold on to. When hope weakens, faith can begin to feel distant. This was part of the battle happening around you. And then there were delays. My child, I know how frustrating those moments were. There were opportunities you hoped would work out that suddenly changed direction. There were plans you believed would move forward quickly that seemed to stall without explanation. You may have wondered why things were taking so long, or why progress appeared just out of reach. Sometimes those delays were simply part of my timing, but other times they were part of the enemy's attempt to slow the path toward your destiny. The enemy hoped that if enough obstacles appeared, you would become tired of believing. He hoped that repeated disappointments would cause your heart to give up on the future I promised you. But he did not understand something important about you. He underestimated the strength that my love had already planted inside your spirit. Even when your faith felt fragile, it did not disappear. Even when your joy felt distant, a small spark of hope remained inside you. Even when delays tested your patience, you continued moving forward in ways that surprised even yourself. That persistence was not an accident. It was the evidence of my presence within you. While the enemy was attempting to interfere with your journey, I was protecting you. You may not have seen it, but heaven was actively involved in your life. My angels were surrounding you during moments when danger was closer than you realized. There were situations that could have harmed you deeply, yet somehow you were protected. Circumstances shifted, paths changed, and events unfolded in ways that quietly shielded you from harm. There were times when you avoided something without fully understanding why. There were moments when plans changed suddenly, leaving you confused at first, only to later realize that those changes kept you safe from something worse. Those moments were not luck. They were the result of heaven intervening in ways you could not see. My angels stood guard around you many times without your knowledge. They moved beside you in places where fear could have overtaken you. They protected your mind when discouragement tried to settle deeply into your heart. They guided situations so that certain voices or influences lost their power over you. Even when you felt vulnerable, you were never truly unprotected. Imagine how many attacks were aimed at your life that never succeeded. Imagine how many moments of danger were quietly stopped before they could reach you. Imagine how many discouraging plans against you were disrupted before they could fully unfold. All of this happened because heaven was watching over you. This realization may fill your heart with a sense of awe. When you look back at your journey with new understanding, you may begin to see how many times you were preserved through situations that could have broken you. You are still here. Your spirit still listens for my voice. Your heart still seeks truth. That is evidence of protection far greater than you realized at the time. My beloved child, I want gratitude to rise within your heart as you begin to understand this. Not gratitude based on fear, but gratitude born from the awareness that you have never been alone in this battle. Heaven has been standing with you all along. Even when the road ahead felt uncertain, I was guiding your steps. Even when your strength felt weak, my presence was supporting you. Even when the enemy tried to break your faith or delay your destiny, my protection remained stronger than every attack. The battle you could not see has already revealed something important about your life. It revealed that the purpose I placed within you cannot be easily destroyed. It revealed that even when you face opposition, heaven continues to stand beside you. And it revealed that the journey ahead of you is still being protected by the same love that has carried you this far. So do not look back at your struggles with fear or regret. Look back with understanding. Look back and realize how many times you were protected, guided, and strengthened through battles that you did not even know were happening. And let that realization fill your heart with confidence, because the same protection that guarded your past is still surrounding your future. My beloved child, listen carefully now, because what I am about to tell you speaks directly to the deepest question your heart has carried for a long time. There were moments in your life when you wondered why your journey seemed different from others. You looked at the paths people around you were walking, and sometimes it seemed as if their roads were easier, smoother, and filled with fewer obstacles. You may have asked yourself quietly, why is my path like this? Why have I faced so many trials? But today I want you to understand something that has always been true about you. You were chosen. This truth may surprise you at first. It may even feel difficult to accept, because when people hear the word chosen, they often imagine someone strong, perfect, or extraordinary. But my child, that is not how I choose. I look deeper than the surface. I look beyond appearances and beyond the mistakes people make along the way. I look directly into the heart. And when I looked at your heart, I saw something that set you apart. I saw a spirit that would not completely surrender to darkness, even when life became heavy. You were not chosen because you were the strongest person in the world. You were chosen because even in your weakness you kept reaching toward me. There were moments when your faith felt fragile, yet you did not let it disappear. There were times when disappointment tried to silence your hope, yet a small spark inside you continued to believe that something better was possible. That spark mattered more than you realize. My beloved child, many people face trials in life. Hard moments come to everyone. But not everyone responds to those moments the same way. Some people allow pain to harden their hearts. Some allow disappointment to turn them away from faith. Others allow fear to convince them that there is no purpose beyond their struggles. When the storms of life come, many people stop walking forward. But you did not stop. You may have slowed down at times. You may have felt tired and uncertain. You may have even questioned whether you had the strength to continue. But somewhere inside your spirit, you kept moving. You kept searching. You kept hoping that your story was not finished yet. That quiet perseverance is something I noticed long before you realized its importance. The experiences you have walked through were not meaningless. Each one played a role in shaping the person you are becoming. The sleepless nights strengthened your patience. The silent tears deepened your compassion for others who suffer. The fears you faced taught you how to keep moving forward even when certainty was not clear. All of those experiences were shaping your heart. Many people would have turned away during those seasons. Many would have allowed bitterness to replace faith. But you continued walking, even when the road felt lonely. Even when your strength felt small, you continued to look toward me. That is one of the reasons you were chosen. I want you to understand something important. When I allow someone to walk through difficult seasons, it is not because I want them to suffer without purpose. Trials are never meant to destroy the ones I love. They are meant to refine them. Just as fire refines precious metal and removes what is weak, the trials in your life were refining your spirit. They were removing fear, doubt, and weakness that could have held you back later. The strength you now carry did not appear suddenly. It grew quietly during the moments when you thought you were simply trying to survive another day. Every time you faced difficulty and chose not to give up, something inside you became stronger. Every time you prayed even though you felt unsure, your faith grew deeper roots. Those roots are what allowed you to remain standing when the winds of life became strong. My beloved child, the strength you carry today is evidence of something greater within you. It is evidence that your life carries a calling. I placed purpose inside you before you ever walked through your first trial. The challenges you faced did not create that purpose, but they prepared you for it. Type Amen. I trust your divine plan if you know God has already written your future, and share this video.